Question 5 says we should differentiate the function y equals x squared plus 4 divided by x plus 2. And this question is for 10 marks. And of course, it is the last question we are to solve. Now, before we start solving, notice something that is very, very important. That's the function is written in one expression. Look at the expression x squared plus 4 divided by another expression. And the numerator is this x squared plus 4. The denominator of this function is x plus 2. Whenever we have one function divided by another and we want to differentiate, we can use the quotient rule of differentiation. Now, the quotient rule tells us that if we have y equals u divided by v, we will need to take the derivative of the y with respect to x. Keep in mind, we're doing that with respect to x. And that will be equals, keep the v, which is the denominator, constant, and differentiate u with respect to x, and subtract that by the numerator, which is u, and then take the derivative of v with respect to x divided by v squared. What this means in simple terms is that we multiply the numerator, we multiply the denominator, which was this v, by the derivative of the numerator. And then we subtract the numerator, which is this, multiplied by the derivative of the denominator. And then divided everything by the square of the denominator. Pretty simple. So for this question, let u be equals the numerator x squared plus 4. What I mean is that since we have u over v, that means this is for u and this is for v. And then I will also say that v should be for the denominator, which is x plus 2. Now, what will be the next step? We need to start differentiating each one separately. How do we do this differentiation? Simple. Now, for u, let's start off with u. U, we have it as x squared plus 4. If we take the first derivative of u with respect to x, the result would be 2x, because the derivative of x squared is 2x using the general formula of differentiation, or which we call the power rule of differentiation, is nx to the power of n minus 1. Since the power is 2, plug in 2 for where you see x, then that's how you get 2x. Then the derivative of a constant, which is 4, is 0. So we're done with that. Moving forward, let's take the derivative of the other one, which is v. We have v to be equals x plus 2. If we take the first derivative of v with respect to x, the result will simply be 1, because the derivative of x is 1. Using the same formula, because the power here is 1, if you plug 1 in that formula, the right hand side, you will definitely have the result 1. So 2 is a constant, so derivative of a constant is equals 0. So what do we need to do? The next thing we need to do is to plug in everything we've gotten into the formula we've stated earlier. So let's do that real quick. So we have the formula, first of all, as dy over dx equals v du over dx minus u dv over dx divided by v squared. So let's plug in all the values we had into the formula. So what do we have as our v? Look at it. Our v is x plus 2. So we have x plus 2, and that will multiply by du over dx. What is du over dx? Du over dx was 2x. Look at it. We have it to be 2x. So that will multiply by 2x. We're done with that. Minus, what is your u? Your u is x squared plus 4. So we have x squared plus 4. And that will multiply by dv over dx. What is dv over dx? We have it to be 1. So we have 1. We divide everything by our v, and the v is x plus 2. Remember to square that. That's pretty important. So now let's simplify the numerator first by expanding. So we have dy over dx to be equals, how do we expand? We could use this to multiply by this, and also use this to multiply by this. If x multiplies by 2x, that gives you 2x squared, plus if 2 multiplied by 2x, that gives you 4x. We're done with that. Moving to the next one. 1 multiplied by the function is still the same thing as x squared. We still have it to be x squared plus 4. Okay, why I'm repeating the parentheses is because this negative will eventually have effect on this positive. But if you forget to put the parentheses, it means you just leave it open like minus x squared plus 4, which will be wrong. Please note that. It's very important. And that always affects a lot of students during the exams when they are solving what they know, but just little mistake affects the work. All right, so now remove the bracket carefully. How do we remove that bracket on the numerator carefully? It's pretty simple. The y over the x will be equals 2x squared plus 4x. Negative times x squared will give us negative x squared, and negative times positive will be negative 4. And then what about the denominator? We'll need to still repeat that. You don't need to expand because we're not doing binomial expansion. We're just solving calculus. All right, so this numerator, we're having x squared, 2x squared, and x squared. The coefficient of x squared is -1, so we can add up that. So the y over the x would be equals 2x squared minus, I'm talking about this, 2x squared minus x squared. The coefficient should be subtracted. That will just give you x squared. So you have x squared. Again, we have 4x alone and this alone, so we just have to write this down, plus 4x minus 4 divided by x plus 2 all squared. All right, here is the final answer. It means that the derivative of this function y equals x squared plus 4 divided by x plus 2 gives us this unique answer, which is x squared plus 4x minus 4 divided by x plus 2 all square. The important idea to remember in this solution is that when we are differentiating one function divided by another, the quotient rule is a very useful method. Just be careful with the subtraction in the numerator because that minus sign affects the entire second expression. And that takes care of question 5 and completes the examination questions. Thank you so much for watching this series, and I hope you found them helpful. Until next time, I'll see you in the next one.